Hey guys, pardon me, driving. I got a lot on my mind because I'm trying to sort out what is the call to my obligation here, right? What obligation am I called to here? Where am I at? Because as an artist, a writer, a researcher, because of the knowledge that I've acquired, the things that I've questioned, the answers that I've gotten, and the new questions that I have, and I wonder how where my focus should be, where the effort should be put. And it's almost like I know exactly where it should be put, but then at the same time, I'm torn because there's these aspects that are conflicting. People's opinions of what we do. Well, you know what I think about other people's opinions, and the fact that some of the things that are said are kind of inflammable right now. They have kind of the potential to ignite things. And you know that my heart is peaceful. I want peaceful things for people. I want people to be centered. That's why I focus so much time, effort, and energy on the readings. I'm not here to tell you that the galactic star people are talking to you. I'm here to help you have a conversation with yourself and to understand your own humanity and my own humanity, and how do we grow and mature and evolve within ourselves. So where have we been and where are we going? Where are we right now? Well, it's a tumultuous time right now for many all over, for all of us, right? So we need to keep the focus on growing for ourselves, right? Growing through ourselves, adapting through this, staying calm and focused, and at the same time, really being honest with ourselves about what's going on and how things have occurred in the past and how things are continuing to evolve, and the patterns, right? The patterns that be. And it's really intense. It's really, really, really intense because when we focus on things and when we speak our truth, there's always going to be people who disagree with us, and that's the polarity, right? The element of polarity, the principles of polarity, and it's necessary for things to exist because if we've talked about this before, if things meet that neutrality point without those polarities, without the extremities on the other end, then everything becomes neutralized and therefore is inert, ineffective, terminated. And so it's a necessary component of existing, having two sides, right? Having uh, the up and the down, the hot and the cold, the right and the left, part of those things. And they help keep the things moving. They help keep us growing and evolving, right? The challenge. But when the extremities are the outliers, and become the places that where the mass stored, right? So the majorities are at the extremities, and the center, is losing mass. Doesn't it? There's not a point there. Then there's like this feeling of complete separation, and it's very tumultuous because they're like big stirs on the pot, right? They're like the big cups on the wind turbines. They really create a lot more force and a lot more resistance. And when we get to those points, that's when entropy occurs, right? Like there becomes this separation, and it is part of the natural flow of things. We think of the pendulum effect, right? We think of attenuation through a medium, and so things are seen from different perspectives, and things have different intensities and different speeds depending on the medium through which they're traveling. And if we consider that medium our consciousness, or what we're capable of perceiving or bringing in at that moment, sometimes we as humans can be pretty fucking dense. And so it takes a while for that light to shine through. So here we have the shadow and the light, right? Being those polarities, being those opposites. As I drive my car, I'm driving through bits of shade and light. And even in the dark spots, there's still a brightness, right? And even in the brightest spaces, it isn't as bright as, say, staring into the sun. There's still a reflection back from the ground, from the opaque, the place where that light is resisted, right? And it feels like we as humans right now have to look within and take our own center space and find out where on the polarity of the larger spectrum of consciousness we're standing, and where is the peaceful space, right? Where is the place where there's like the least amount of resistance, or at least productive work, right? Where the resistance and the force produce a productivity. And by that I don't mean like making shit, I'm not talking about like manufacturing here. I'm talking about like an effective growth, right? Viable life, like trees breathing, like waves lapping, like the earth spinning, like the solar system, like the beings, the natural beings that we are, our place in the nature of it. And right now human nature is really in a dark space, because even if you're not feeling the anger, you might be feeling the fear, you might be feeling the sadness, right? And the people who are feeling positive about this might be feeling a boost of ego. They might be feeling pride. It's an angry, dirty feeling of pride, right? More like arrogance, like more like that sin that they're always talking about. Not like the confidence pride, like Leo, the lion, strength card that we say, right? That would be like the strength being used against us. And where do we stand in it? And I wonder too where the humanity lies, because when we count each other, we tend to leave out the ones that we don't want to humanize, and that includes people with the name officer. No matter what type of officer they are, they signed up for this, right? So when they signed up for that, did they sign away their humanity? Because I don't believe they did. I don't believe that that's possible for everyone. I think some people signed theirs away long before they took any kind of action towards any kind of contract or thing. I mean, that's something that we address when we go into these spaces, these deep spaces. And I was like, well, I'm going to continue to read the cards. And again, not so that I can tell you some galactic alien is going to free you from the matrix, but because I'm going to tell you that your humanity is going to free you from yourself. And then by doing so, it's going to help us all. And it means that we need to take accountability. And it means sometimes I'm going to say things that maybe are uncomfortable, or we don't necessarily want to hear, but it's because it's something that we need to address. It's a challenge that we need to overcome, or it's a way that I personally feel I need to be able to express myself as an artist, as a writer, as a researcher, as somebody who has spent quite a bit of time, years, decades, looking into these types of things. Sociological effects of religion, the environmental effects of government, the natural effects of the larger natural effects that sit within us and reside within ourselves, and how we react to those things and build our societal changes and build our governmental changes and build our social structures. And we call it spiritualism. It's us trying to redefine our own nature. We've been looking at that for a very, very long time. And now it's coming to the point where somebody asked me, like, well, do you think the pole shifts of the Earth's magnetic pole shifts are going to, cause catastrophe? And so, well, the humans' pole shifts are going to cause catastrophes long before that. Or maybe even right alongside it. But we aren't helping it or ourselves. There's no call for adaptation. There's no call for congregation. There's no call for people hanging out together, figuring out how to fix ourselves so that we can adapt to live through and enjoy and thrive through the changes of the natural processes. Because our own natural processes also require of us the cleansing out. And there's this agitation, Carl Jung says that creativity unexpressed will show itself as violence, as anger, as vitriol. And I think that because of these structures that we impose upon ourselves and that we impose upon each other, we stifle our nature, we stifle our own creativity, and we in turn become very, very angry, joyless, searching. And now is the most important time for us to really take that look within and to heal ourselves. I've been through a lot of shit. I'm not a perfect person. I've made a lot of mistakes. A lot of the things I am expressing to you, I'm talking to myself as well, because I do have a temper. And I have to be a tempered human being. It is my light and my shadow. And so rather than being angry and lashing out because of the injustices of the world or the injustices being suffered, I'm choosing to express myself through creative means, to vocalize the facts that are provoking the need for expression within me. And I suggest that we all do this. When the protesters started dancing yesterday, I was so happy. I was so happy. Dance joyous and free. Own ourselves. Allow ourselves to congregate and be peaceful, joyful, and to express so that we don't become embittered even more. So that we can come to terms with some of these things that are going on and learn to adapt, right? And survive and thrive. And not let it overcome us and us become that entropic extremity floating off into I'm going to say the ether. That's the word that's coming to mind. Anyway, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit and express some things. And I'm going to be putting out some things soon. I haven't done anything in a while. It's been difficult for me. The past year has been really rough in my personal life. I had a major health issue. I had a surgery, and then I lost my maternal grandmother. She got very ill, and we lost her right before the holidays. And then my father passed away in March. So I realized I haven't been putting out a lot of things. There's been a lot of personal stuff going on, and that took priority. It's important to pay attention to yourself, to your family, to the people who love you, and the people who need you, and allow those shifts and change. And I'll tell you, those types of foundational shifts. Things, like my whole physiology has changed. My maternal matriarch, my mom's mom is no longer here, and she was hugely influential in my family, a huge part of our daily lives. We miss her. And then we're not going to get into the dad ship, but if you've ever listened to my stuff, you'll understand that that's also something, these releases, and then it's like rites of passage, and we have to change through time. And I think that everybody has been experiencing these types of things in their own way, whatever they might be for you. Maybe they're job shifts, maybe they're relationship shifts, maybe there's shifts within you, maybe they're economic, maybe you did move, maybe you lost people, maybe you gained people, maybe the things that you once thought aren't, I natural disasters have been happening. There are shifts and changes, and that's why it's important for us to, take the time and also keep addressing the things. I'm going to say the punk rock things. I'm going to express my opinions. I'm going to express my feelings. Okay, more so than my opinions, I'm going to express my feelings, and then those things are changing as times are changing. I'm going to express my assessments of things, and those things are changing. I'm going to try to reserve judgment both on myself and others, but sometimes that's really hard, especially when others are acting out in such lavishly horrid ways. Anyway, I'm going to go like I said, finish some things. I am gonna put out. I have two more sign readings that need to be done on the tarot channel. I'm gonna put those out. This is gonna go on both channels because I just want to express this to both both my groups of gazers, right? The tarot gazers and the heathen stargazers. Because I love all of you, and I think even though sometimes people don't the tarot people don't understand what we're doing over at heathen stargazers, and the heathen stargazers people don't always understand what we're doing over at tarot. They're intrinsically united. They are part and parcel of the growth and what I'm here to help um, explore. I mean, that's it. We're just explorers gazing at things. I love you guys so much. Talk to you soon.